actually look at the model as being, how do we aggregate audiences around the brand? So we look at a brand brief. Who are the target markets for our brand? What are they interested in? And we create programming around that first and foremost. That way you have actually content that people will be interested in seeing, stories that we want them to engage with, because the content's based on something that might be relevant to them. And the brands themselves play a role in that in many ways. It may be the brand provides them the opportunity to watch this programming in various places for free, if it's premium content. The brands get involved with it and they can utilize it within their marketing plans and their marketing mix, but the content itself may be just entertainment from the standpoint of what the client's looking to do in terms of their targeting.
Tell us about what you guys are doing in sort of some creative implementation of online video sponsored content.
Sure. I think that the branded integration isn't necessarily as hard-hitting as product placement, but mainly about sort of the idea standpoint of what sort of, the mindset of what the target is, reaching out and getting them to participate with that content. We look at it from the standpoint that the brands can surround themselves around the content itself, be the providers of that content, and in fact, that sort of positive reflection on the brand as the provider of enjoyable or entertaining content. So the brands have a different role, not so much hard-placed product placement, but also just the provider of something quality and entertaining. For 2 seasons now, we've run a program called Love Bites with our Unilever client. And what Love Bites was a short micro-series co-produced with Paul Reiser. And the micro-series was a 2-minute comedy, or a sort of life comedy about a young 20-something woman and the trials and tribulations of being her, from her job to dating and to the things that the target market for the product was looking to reach. And by creating this show and then working in conjunction with TBS, we were actually able to put it on air and online on TBS.com, as well as promote that through various video portals. And so we've gone through 2 seasons of that, but that short form episodic series, which we've done now about 163 episodes of that particular one, is an area where we may venture further with other brands and clients.
You guys sort of have your own teams in-house? Are you working with freelance producers? How are you making this big shift in terms of the kind of content you create?
Well, when we co-executive produce the work, we sometimes will develop the work internally and also work with best-in-class partners in the production side or on the entertainment side, the writing side. A lot of the writing comes from internal, as well as we look to partner with people, like I said. Paul Reiser was our co-executive producer on Love Bites. So when it makes sense, we find the right partners to produce the right content with the right level of quality for the project we're working on. So for JWT, it's not that difficult for us to figure out what we can do great and where we want to bring in the great partners to work with us to have an end result that we're all proud of.
And one last question. I know you don't really have a crystal ball with you there, but let me ask you what you think in terms of what we might see in a year in terms of online video advertising.
Well, online video advertising's gone a couple different routes, and there's a lot of tests being done: overlay ads, embedded flash. I've seen some interesting things come out of Tokyo, where people actually have the ability to comment directly over videos or be part of it. But in terms of the advertising itself, I think that the pre-roll and post-roll is probably going to go away to some degree. The wrappers of the video players themselves. I think interactive players in themselves, as they're embedded across the web as distributed content, might be an interesting place. What those players will do in terms of interactivity beyond just push, play, start, pause, but what they can do for a brand and how people can engage with those players directly.